All right, we're gonna do some coding. Of course, we are doing every single day, right? Coding. But what I mean by that is we'll just write some code, scripting code in Node.js to create our components rapidly in a fast way, right? Usually we do how to create our components. We do come over here, we type components every single time, and we write, for instance, about the JSX, and then we type RFC, right? And for each component, we do this one. And this is the typical generic component that's been created by the shortcut RFC. What I would like to do is we can write some code in a file, and we can execute the code, and that code will generate a brand new component for us with the folder name components if it doesn't exist, okay? And then with the file name and with the generic content in it. And for instance, we can call this a file name as create component dot JS or CJS, right? And then we can call this code with node. Okay. And at the end of the code, we can provide the file name like about or about the JSX. All right. We just don't need this JSX, but we just will provide the component name, and the internal code of inside this file will create the file for us. And if the component does not exist, it will create the components too. Now you can take this code. Once we're done, you can take this code and use it anytime, anywhere you would like. I mean, of course, you can modify the content of the code based on the requirement, like what kind of generic component that you would like to create, right? For instance, you can create like about page inside, all right? Based on the contents of the about you would like to display. Cool. Any questions?
Can you run it?
What is it?
Can you run it?
Well, I don't have anything right now though, right? Oh yeah, so what I can do here, instead of here, I'm gonna write my code right here first. All right, let me just put this guy away for now. Over here. Now, it's exact same thing, right? So this is CJS. We're gonna use CJS. As you guys know, CJS is one of them was module, right? Oops. And the other one was common JS, right? You guys remember that one. Two ways. This is ES6 way, and this is the ES5 and below. Right? If your file ending with CJS, then that's definitely common JS. If your file is just ending with the JS, that's module. Okay. We're specifically using, I mean, JS is for both common JS and module, but if you are using specifically the file extension called CJS, then you will have some of the built-in packages, right? Some of the built-in modules that comes with Node.js itself automatically. If you don't use that, then you have to somehow install those or implement some additional settings for your project. But in here, we know that in the terminal right over here, this is my Linux terminal, okay? I cannot type console.log because why? Console.log is only for browser environment or Node.js environment, okay? If I type it unknown file attribute, blah, blah, blah. But if I copy this guy right here and go inside the node environment, now I'm inside node environment. Now, if I type console.log, it will print out hello. Okay, it will print out hello. Control D will exit out from the node environment. Now I can do the same thing over here though, right? Console.log hello, and I can run my script.js CJS with node. All right, it will print out hello. Okay, it will print out hello. So this is just a script. Now, over here in our component over here, we will create, as I said, the file name will be create component or create page. It doesn't matter what you guys name it, CJS. Okay. So now I can put this script, right? Instead of every time I'm trying to do something, I don't have to run like a node and create the component.cjs. What I can do here is I can definitely run it, but what I would like to do is come down to my package.json. And as you guys remember, these scripts right here. Okay, scripts right here. I can add additional script. Create component. Create component, and it's going to be node create component.cjs. All right, create component, node create component.cjs. Now, if I go inside and here, if I type console.log hello, right, and I can run this command with npm run dev was running the whole application, right? What I would like to run here is npm create component command. Yeah, it has to be npm run actually. Okay, npm run create component, and it will just print out hello. This npm run create component is basically coming to the package.json and goes through the scripts and then finds the create component, and it will just run this node create component.cjs file. So how can we create our files or any file, right? Any file in anywhere. So we need a couple packages for this guy to function properly. One of them is FS. FS stands for, who can tell me? Require FS. FS stands for file system. All right, FS stands for file system. And this file system comes with a lot of stuff. Console.log, FS, FS. All right, so if I run this guy, this FS package, basically module, comes with a lot of stuff. The specific things that we need for this project is mkdir sync synchronous make directory. And at the same time, read file synchronous. We don't need this read file, but we want is mkdir sync at the same time write file sync. These are the functions that we want, because we would like to create the folder or create a file at the same time, put some data, the contents inside the file. I mean, this file system package can be used for a lot of other stuff too. System, stat, the rename, u times, watch, write, operating systems. There was some information about operating systems, constant objects, prototypes. But anyway, yeah. File system. Another package that we need is path. Require path. So in our terminal, in our Linux shell terminal, we know that pwd it does what?
Go to the root or what?
No.
No.
pwd is print, right? Print working. It's called the print working directory.
Mm.
That is that it will print out which directory you are working on right now.
Mm.
Right? I'm inside, blah, 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 delete later, React demo projects 24/7, because that's the folder I'm inside. Okay, this is for Linux though. The same thing we can achieve in Node.js environment. In Node.js, we're gonna have their name. All right, their name. At the same time, we have file name. But specifically, we will need the dir name. All right, save it. And if I run this node create component, let me just run it directly. Create component CJS. As you guys can see right here, okay, it says hello. That's fine. This console.log. This is the folder that I'm working on. Their name is the folder that I'm working on. Right? And the create component, the file name, right? The file name is referring to this file name right here. This file name is referring where is it inside? It's inside this file name right here. But their name is where is this file is located. Right? So we have to make sure that the files or folders that we create start from their name. The their name is the current folder that we locate inside. Right? They could have locate inside. So the other thing that we said is that we run this function or we run this code inside this file, and we said that we provide the second argument. Right? We provide an argument to the file, and based on this file name, we will create our components. But how do we have access to this file right here? How do we have access to that file? Is based on process. Okay, constant compo. We have something called a process, as you guys remember, right? I think in Node.js we used the process for our environment variables.
Mm.
Okay, so we set that the process.env. Okay, process.env environment variable. It is showing the environment variable for us. But what we specifically want is that the second the argument that we provide from the console, from the terminal, and that argument we can grab it as argv. Okay, argv, and this is actually it will provide an array. Okay, it will provide an array. As you guys can see, this process.argv is an array. Okay, and this is refers to the node, and this is refers to the file. Okay, but it is an array. But one thing that we can do with this array is, if I do this one right here, to, it will refer to about. Now let me run it again. As you guys can see, about. It is grabbing the about. But if I do like a cart, now this cart will become 3. It will just keep going like this. 4. Okay, save it. Cart or new component, something like that. See, about, cart, new component. All right, but of course, we're not going to be needing these, the third and fourth. The only thing we need is this, the item in second, right? The item in second. So this one is 0, this one is 1, and this one is 2. The item inside array, the second item, or the item in index 2. This is what we want. So we're going to call it constant component name. It's going to be that the argument that we provide with this file. All right, we're going to provide only one argument, and we'll just go from there. Cool. So I can check this component name. If I don't provide anything, it will be undefined. Okay, if component name, right? If it's undefined, not undefined means true. If it is basically, if this one is undefined, not undefined means true, which means that we didn't provide any file name. In that case, I can just do console.log. Please provide a page name or component name. Okay, and the process has something called exit. You guys don't have to worry about it. It will just complete the process. It will just exit it out. Okay, note create component. Yes, please provide component name. I didn't provide the component name. That's why it will just finish up this running this file. But if I provide something like SSS, it's not going to print out. Please provide component name. Okay, nothing is printed out. But if I don't provide it, it will please provide component name. Let's keep going. What is it? 5:23. Oh my goodness, the time is running really fast. Cool. So we have to figure out what's going to be our component directory. Now, constant component there. We know that our component directory is going to be including this their name. Okay, it will include this their name. At the same time, we can join a couple other components with it. PWD. What I mean by that is, if I have this long path, okay, as a string, now with this, to this path, I'm inside my folder right here, right, global folder. I can add src. To this path, I can join my components. Okay, to this path, I can join my component name. All right, component name. Basically, if I don't have src, it will create src. If I don't have a component, it will create components. And inside, if I put about, it will create about.jsx. All of these will be done inside this code. This is what we are trying to do. So this whole thing right here, okay, to generate this whole thing, we can use the path package that we imported, okay? Path.join. And what we are joining, first, the dir name plus src plus components, okay? And plus, comma, component name. It is just a typical string joining. It doesn't have, these guys doesn't have to be separate actually, right? What we can do here, we can just do src slash and slash, maybe convert this guy to backtick, all right? Cut this out and bring this guy with like this. Going to be the same thing. Console.log component dir. All right, console.log component dir. As you guys can see, src components, components. Oh my goodness, can't even components, and we'll put the file name. All right, if I put about.jsx, it is referring to that file name. All right, we found our path. That's fine, but how do we create it? First of all, we have to check if this component there exists or not. Now, this is where our FS file system comes into handy, right? Up until now, we have not used FS, but it's time to use it. File system has something called exists synchronous. Now, this is a function. We provide the component directory. All right, we provide this component directory.
It doesn't mean it just like if it exists synchronous or what?
Yeah, it's synchronously. It will just look through the files and it will see if it exists or not. If it doesn't exist, then basically this one will return true or false, right? Why we use a sync? Because there's another version, okay, that is called exist. I think exist is not used anymore. Well, some of the functions we have a sync, right? Some of the functions we have exist as sync. Sync means synchronously, but some of them are asynchronous, right? If your code requires async action, then you can use those actions in your code. But right now, we're not trying to do anything asynchronous. Everything should be synchronous. Right? We'll try to find if this directory exists or not. Basically, if this one returns false, right? If this one returns false, basically not false, and we'll just go inside and we'll try to create. Now, create it. If this one returns false, meaning that we don't have that directory, right? We don't have that. We don't have this file name, or we don't have this component, or we don't have the SRC. But of course, it will definitely check for this about JSX. If I don't have it, it will mkdir synchronous. It says synchronously creates a directory. Returns undefined or if recursive is true.
What
Right?
what about the just mkdir?
This one is, if I do this one right here, asynchronous creates a directory. Asynchronous creates a directory. That's used for some other purposes. But what we need is mkdir sync. Now, this mkdir sync is accepts the first one is of course the component directory, right? It has to be some sort of a path, the path like src/component/ blah blah blah. But since component directory is already our path, no, right? Component directory is already our path. It will also require optional setting. In this case, what we are going to use is right here. Recursive true. Right? Recursive true. Why recursive? We would like to see if these folders also exist. If they don't exist, then it will create every single one of them along the path until we get to about.jsx.
So if it's not there, it's gonna just create it like that path?
Yes. If it's not there, it will create these up until about.jsx. See,
So
right
the
now we don't have the components.
yeah, so if else statement just checking about the like the last one about JSX, right? If it exists or not.
Exactly. Yep, about JSX. If I don't put this one right here, it will just check if the component exists. If it doesn't exist, then we'll create the make their components. But we'd like to include this file name too, right? File name too, so that it will be created.
Nice.
Actually, this file name, actually this one is creating a folder, not JSX, right? It is about to create a folder. But of course, we don't need to put the folder name for our components, right? We just want inside our components, what we want is only the names of our components. So for that reason, we just don't need these components, the name of the component.
Azamat, hello.
Yes.
I have a question. In case, what if you didn't put that, for example, recursive true, but you don't have that folder component? In that case, what's gonna happen? He's not gonna create any about JSX?
It will just it will just create, right? It will just create based on this setting right here. It will check, do I have SRC? No, I don't. Yeah, I do have SRC. I don't have to create SRC, right? It will just create the first non-existing folder. That's it. If I have one, two folders, it will not create these guys, but it will create components in that case. But since I put recursive, right? Recursive means mkdir in our Linux, mkdir -p was recursively creating all of those folders. Same thing. mkdir -p was creating, for instance, satec and folder 1, folder 2. It was creating all of these folders, right? Same thing. I created the satec over here. Inside my satec, I have folder 1, folder 2. In the code, we are specifying a recursive true so that it will create all of these folders that we need. Now we're checking component directory. Do we have it? Yeah, if we don't have it, then it will create recursively. Okay, so what do we need? The typical, we said that, let me just do deleted RFC, right? And I would like to write about page. Select A, okay? This is what's going to be my component content, right? Constant component name, nope, going to be a content. And now I have to put with the backtick, right? And put our component content. This is my component content. It's just the regular JavaScript, guys, right? Now, since I put my backtick, I can change some of the stuff that I can change in my component right here. Instead of about page, what it has to be? A $sign component name, right? Component name that we are providing when we are trying to create all like this. Okay, if I put about, it will put about over here. Now it's dynamic. Same thing. I need to copy right over here and put it right over here. Component name, and right over here, it has to be component name. Import React from React. Yes, that should be fine. So now this is my component content. Now I have to put inside my the component name. Since cool. So right over here, one last command is left. Of course, we need to write file sync whatever we created our file, right? This write file sync needs to accept two, right? It'll see what it does. It needs to accept the path or file descriptor and the data, right? The path, I would like to save it to /src/components, blah, 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 and the data, the content, right? This is our content. But of course, inside our write file sync, we will provide the first argument, as I said, the path, right? The path has to be, we would like to join the component directory that we created with the file name. And the file name has to be this guy right here. .jsx. Okay, it will join this component directory that's ending with components, and we'll put this component name JSX into that component. All right, cool. So component there, component name.
Azamat,
Yes.
can you please one more time explain what write file synchronous is mean, like creating the file?
Yeah, it will write file synchronous will write this content, this right here, over here,
Mhm.
inside the file.
But also create the whole file, right? Like
But also, yeah,
then you put the join JSX after the component name.
yes, right here. Yep, it will create this file. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yep,
Okay.
will create it will join this component directory that we created over here,
Mhm.
and then it will join both of these guys, and then it will put, right, because the first argument is path.join is providing us the path to the file name. Okay, so
Mhm.
src components blah blah about that JSX, and then the second argument we have to provide what data we would like to see inside this about that JSX, and it's going to be component content. Okay, this component path.join is just basically grabbing this component directory and merging this JSX with that. That's it. All right. What I can write over here is a dollar component name. Created successfully, and a dollar component there. All right, let's see if this one will work. Now, src, FJ6, that's fine. src, I don't have components. Right? src, I don't have components. And of course, we have create component JS, and we have this script. Now, what note, instead of note, component about. I have to write npm run. Okay, npm run, create component about. Let's put this guy over here. Let's run this code. All right, it says about component created successfully in users blah 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 src components. If I come down here, src, I do have components, yes, and I do have about JSX, yes, and I do have this file right here. Now it looks weird, I think, because of the fact that I did too much tabbing. Too much tabbing.
Mhm.
I guess it did not accept the tabbing. Should have saved it. Let me just delete the components again and rerun it again. So npm run, create component about. Right, components and about JSX. It says about page. Now, if I try to say instead of about, like a card, see, card. It already knows that component already exists. It will only just create this card JSX. Instead card JSX, card and card page. Any questions? Now, it's going to be very easy for us to just run this command and create our components like that instead of copy paste and do some other stuff. If about page return should be good. And I have to remove this guy. One last time, cart one, yay.
Azamat,
Yes.
about the CGS. Is it all this built-in function came from the CGS, or we can also use it just like JS for it?
Yeah, we can definitely use just JS, but again, as I said, we need to put additional stuff in order to work with this one. Okay, so if I say create component just the JS, right? The first thing is that, as you guys can see, file is the common JS module. It may be converted to an ES module. Right? Let me just save it and let me try to create. What do I need to change? Package JSON, right? Create component instead of create component JS, and this is going to be JS. Save it. Now over here has to be dash JS and card2. Right, as you guys can see, require is not defined in ES module scope, right? ES module scope, it's it requires not defined. You can use import instead. So as I said in JS, we can definitely npm install require and then just go with that, but it will just suggest us to just fix it, like convert to ES module like this.
So it's
right? Exist sync. It's coming from everything is coming from file system, right? Imported. Exist sync, mkdir sync, write file sync, etc. Now in this case, we just don't. It already removed the FSs, right? Exist sync component directory, blah blah blah. But of course, it will still not work because it's complaining about this dir name. All right, it will complain about this dir name. Now, for that, what we need to do is we have to include something called file URL to path from URL. Oh my goodness. I installed an extension called remove unused imports right here. What is it? Remove unused imports. If it sees that I'm not this import, as soon as I save it, it will just remove it. So before I save it, I have to use this import in somewhere else. Okay. We do have this one will remain as it is, but right over here, it's complaining about this dir name because it cannot find it. Right. What we can do here is we need to do constant file name is equal to the function that we imported from URL. Okay, and now import. It needs to grab from metadata. Import meta.url. Now the dir name, okay, the dir name has to be created as a regular constant. Now this dir name will be used by this path, right? Dir name. And now to convert this file name, provide this file name into the dir name, and it will provide the dir name. Now I should have access to this dir name. Now, if I run it like card2, card2 component created successful in blah, blah, blah. Let's check it out. Card2, yeah. Now, this is the module, right? Yes, ES6 version, and this one is CommonJS version. You guys can definitely use both of these guys.
Is anyone still using the ES5?
No.
No. That's why I'm asking about just JS, not the CJS.
Yeah, it's definitely a good idea to see both in action, right?
Yeah.
Azamat,
Yes.
is it like the common practice to create the files like this by this way?
In my company, we had some scripts that would create our generic components. right? Generic components. Now, of course,
So why I asking this question is like for my future projects, should I create like this or I just need to know that it's possible and that's it? I can like go by the traditional way.
yeah, the traditional way, you're gonna lose a lot of time on that. I mean, it's very short period of time, but still, if it just builds up, it will be a lot of time. But this one, if you implement this one in your in your company, right? Everybody will be definitely surprised about the fact that you know Node.js and how to deal with these file systems. But of course, you don't have, this is just it's not a mandatory to use in your company or your projects. It is just a side knowledge, good to know.
So
Okay?
why I asking this question is like, should I remember that one, like learn by heart or not?
No,
Since
no, 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 no. You don't memorize this. Right? Don't memorize this.
without memorizing, I will not do it. I will not able to do it like this.
Probably companies, they have their own path. Probably most companies, they have their own path to create the,
Yeah,
they will just provide you. So, but
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, but if you're independent, like freelancer, then you want to save more time, that would be definitely good. But most of the time, the companies will have their own. They are the someone who is senior will be managing. I mean,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
So with this inside this script, right? It was only creating this guy right here. You can also create some other stuff too. For instance, it will create about JSX. At the same time, it will create about.css. We'll just copy paste right here, and we'll just call it CSS. And the content for the CSS will be just empty string, because we don't want any content inside our CSS file like this. Okay, the content will be just the empty string. Now, what you can do here, the same thing that we did, the import over here. You know what? I will just write it down. It's going to be import. The file name, the component name. Of course, it has to end with CSS. Save it. Now, I don't have any components. And if I run it again with about, okay, it will create components. At the same time, it will create about.css and about.jsx. And inside my about.jsx, I will have import about.css. Anything can be done with this type of script, guys, right? You can modify your script based on your requirements. Now, if you would like to create about, right, and both of these guys inside it, right, like this, then in that case, what you can change in your code is come down here, component directory right here, right? Component directory right over here. You can just put your component directory. Okay, component, sorry, not component directory.
Component name.
Component name, sorry, component name. Yep, component name. Okay, so I don't have components, and if I run it again, this guy right here, run component about, it will create components. Inside component, it will create about. Inside about, we have a bunch of other stuff. If I run it one more time for the card, right? Components, we have about and we have card folders, each of them containing
Azamat,
individual.
what you have done, the code, isn't it Node.js?
It is Node.js, yes.
Yeah, it's not the JavaScript, right?
It is JavaScript.
Yeah. I mean, okay. Like Node.js.
Yeah, Node.js is JavaScript, right?
Yeah. But
The
with
Java,
Node.js, you can also write the backend.
so that's the thing. So
Yeah.
JavaScript code usually runs in the browser.
Yeah.
Okay, the browser. Now, right over here, I don't need anything to install or do anything, I can just type console.log and it will just print out my stuff, right? I don't have console.log over here in my regular terminal, as I said, right? AA, the number, I have to be inside node environment to run that console.log.
Mm,
Okay. I have to
okay.
be inside the node environment to run that console.log. Now, Node.js allowing us to run our JavaScript code in the terminal or outside the browser.
Yeah.
Outside the browser, right? Now, if I had some sort of since by running this create right here, okay, create npm run create the component. This is my JavaScript code. Of course, this is the script name, but yeah, we're running with the node, right? This is JavaScript code, but it's showing the results in the terminal right over here, which means that we are basically running. I'm not doing over here running like node script that blah blah blah, right? Our applications are written in JavaScript, and all of the JavaScript code will be rendered in the browser only. Now, in order to be able to render our code outside the browser, we have a thing called Node.js environment,
Yeah.
right? Just all of those browsers that we have, they have JavaScript runtime environment built into those browsers. Okay, now Node.js also provides the copy, all right, JavaScript runtime environment that we can use outside the browser. And that's why we have these Node.js codes, and it's very useful for backend applications or backend code actually, right?
I joined the previous like my bootcamp, so they finished the back front end, so they started the like back end, and I joined today. So
Really?
yeah, like so first they did the introduction, and tomorrow is like MongoDB and like what like it was actually the full stack, but for me it seems like but
Yeah.
since I paid the full full price like before, and they allowed me to just join the start from backend.
Oh,
So
that's
like
good. That's cool. Wow,
it's like for me it seems a little bit difficult, but
two birds with one stone, huh? That's awesome.
Azamat,
Yes.
those imports, we can find it in the ES6 documentation, right? Because like where you import it from, like fs path URL, where it like came from.
Yes, you can definitely find it in right file sync Node.js. Okay. Why did I open a Geek Squad? Geeks for Geeks. This is a Node.js file
Oh,
system.
it came from Node.js. Okay. So you imported all this stuff from the Node.js, right?
Yeah, the thing is that, as I said, right, this is from Node.js, right? We're
Oh,
writing Node.js code. Now,
mm,
that's why we are able to run everything
mm,
in the terminal right here.
got it, got it. Okay.
In our DOM projects, we were using like a document that get element by ID or query selector, right? But if
Mm-hmm.
that's why our browsers were able to render those JavaScript code. Now,
Mm,
if I had document that oh, blah blah blah, I don't have document in my Node.js environment. Node, I'm inside my Node.js environment right now. If I type document, see, a document is not defined. I don't have document, but I do have document in the browser terminal, right?
yeah.
Showing document. But this
Uh,
in the environment, I don't have it. But somehow, if I had like document that the query selector, my code will not work.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like now I got it because it is in ES5, it was just included, right? You don't have like didn't have like to import from Node.js. In ES6 is not included, those like methods.
This 5, this is the way to import all of these guys right here. This is still Node.js, right? But this is ES5 and below. Require
To
is
create
the thing that we imported. This is how you import in ES5 and below. But ES6 and above, this is how you import it.
okay.
In ES6 and above, we have import and export, right? Import and export.
Yeah, definitely. ES6 is more readable for me after all those projects.
Again, in ES6, we were exporting something like this, right? Object or just a file name or export default. This is what we had.
Yeah.
This is what we had. But in ES5, right? ES5 and below, oh, sorry, this guy right here, ES5 and below, when we are exporting, we have to type export dot module and then provide the name, okay? Export dot module. It has to go with export dot. And we have to import it with require.
Okay.
So require is just kind of like a page, like you can.
Require is just I mean, fancy way to say import, right? I mean, this import is the explicit says that we have to import these guys from this file or from this package, but this one is require basically says that we have to use this file system. Now it will just connect, right? Require will connect to the package, the file system, and this is gonna be the same thing. And from here, this object will contain a lot of stuff that we can use in our code. If a file system that exists is sync, file system that make directors sync, and write file sync, etc.
Got it now. Thank you.
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah, Node.js is really cool though. If you guys do a lot of projects in Node.js, you will love it. Now with this JS, what I would like to remove is this guy right here. I don't need the folders. I need only the files, and also the CSS file. I don't need the CSS file. Okay, let's make sure that it's still Control D, exit out the Node.js environment. npm run create component.js cart1. Yep, cart.jsx. All right, let's come back to our React router. So,
Finally.
finally, what do we need?
Toggling all those functions, we can just.
I thought this is related to road, but
Okay. What do we need? Why it's about page? Yeah. Anyway, we'll come to that point. What do we need when it comes to our React router? React router DOM is the package that we need. Okay. npm install React router DOM. Now we had in our package JSON, we already have React and we already have React DOM, and these are the icons, and this is Bootstrap for React applications. We do have Usemer. Let's try not to implement Usemer for now. We'll definitely implement for our project, the e-commerce project, we'll definitely implement use context.
Quick question, Azamat.
Yes.
If you want to delete one of the dependencies, you can just remove from here, or you have to also delete from your node?
Right. Oh, deleting is very easy. npm, right? npm install for installing it.
Yeah.
npm
delete.
uninstall uninstall. You can
Mm.
type the whole thing or short I.
But what
Right?
happens if you just remove from your dependencies?
It is definitely recommended to remove with the command npm on I, because this guy right here, package lock JSON, is connected to the package JSON. It will contain all of the things that's inside the package JSON. Now, the package is that it's locked. We should never touch this package lock JSON, but we can modify over here. But if, again, npm on I will make sure that this is also updated over here.
Okay, thank you.
But Azamat, you are now using the terminal. Terminal is kind of like also has an access to computer, right? Computer brain memory.
Yes. Yeah. So
How
the
you-
terminal that I'm using over here is the same thing, right? This terminal,
I think that
the
if
same
you
thing as this one right here. That there's nothing different, right? So right over here, this exact same terminal.
yeah.
Okay. So right here, I can just type a node, and I'm inside my node environment. Control D will exit it out.
I mean, if you just delete is that would say like from the package, like my question is kind of like since you installed with computer brain and computer will still remember that that this is installed and you just you know, I mean, probably the
All of
deleting
these-
from terminal would be the proper way to do.
Yep, exactly. So npmi, all of these are CLIs, right? So what's the CLIs called? Right? Command line interface. We are typing the command, and underlying operating system will interpret to a machine, right? Machine code, right? And then it does something under the operating system. Basically, it belongs to this Node.js environment, right? npm project. It will just delete it because of the fact that we are whatever the command you are using in the terminal, it will interpret it and it will delete the package that you would like to do it. Okay, I mean you can do a lot of stuff with this command line, and all of these applications will provide a command line interface that we can use. For instance, AWS also has AWS CLI. Okay, everything that you do online in the console, you can definitely do it on in the command line. All right, you can definitely do it in command line. Cool. What did I do? What did I do? Let's install npm I react router dump. We need to install react router dump. React router dump was installed.
What is it?
What is what?
He says to fix audit fix and all this, like the one low one.
Oh, all the over here?
No,
No, it's installed.
it disappear. Never mind.
No, it's installed. I don't know what I was saying, but I did clear the console and it just disappeared. Yeah, but yeah, we should be good to go. React router dump. Now with this React router dump, we have to import some stuff from React router dump. The packages that we need, the functions or the components, right? They will look like a component because we're going to be wrapping it. The components that we need to import is the routes. We need route, right? Routes is just wrapping multiple routes and route our individual routes. And we also need browser router as router. Okay. And that should be it. I just don't want to save it. If I save it, it will just remove this whole thing again. So now, since I do have router over here, I have to wrap my whole application inside this router. Router. Okay. Just like we have context provider, we're wrapping it, and this does the same thing. But of course, we don't have to create this router component to accept the children. Since it's coming from the React Router DOM, it will wrap the whole application, and now we will have access to the router functionality in our application, the routing functionality or navigation functionality. All right, router. Let's just create nav bar. Nav link. Oh, sorry, not link. Li. Okay, we can just type home, about, contact. Is it running? npm run dev. Okay, cool. Inspect. We're gonna put it down. So these are the navs. Okay, we do have nav bar in our component. So we do have routes. Now this is where we create our routes. Emit abbreviation, yes, routes. Now the routes will wrap each individual route. Okay, we can have multiple routes, but these routes will wrap each individual route. What do I mean by route is this individual route will contain the path. Okay, the path is basically starting from slash like this. This one is slash is for the home directory. You can do about, is going to the about. This one is going to contact. Okay, and this one is going to news. This is what I mean. These are the path. Now the path we can start from slash. All right, the path we can start from slash. Yeah, so these guys actually routes are self-closing tags. All right, these are self-closing tags. Now, individual routes are self-closing tags. Of course, this the route is not a self-closing tag. Now, each individual route, right? We said that we have a path, and at the same time, we have an attribute called element. All right, this element has to be a component that you would like to render when you hit this path. All right, in this case, we'd like to hit the home component. All right, since we don't have these guys, let's just do, is it option? No. Now, slash route, this guy too. Forgot about this guy. Cool. So route is not defined because we did not use it. Damn it, it just removed it. See, I think I saved it and it just removed it.
I think it's not good for you.
Yeah, right. It's not a good idea to have that extension. I will just remove there. Yeah. So now it says that we don't have home. What do we need to do? Utilize our script. npm run create component.js. Just type home. Home component created successfully inside my component, and I do have home.js. All right. I'll just need to do and import from components. I do have home page over here. Now it's automatically appearing as you guys see it over here. Oops, what did I do? Don't do that. Okay, it's automatically appearing as you guys see in the UI. Same thing can be done for other stuff. In this case, let's just type about. Let's just type contact, right? It's going to be about. It's going to be contact. Yeah. We don't have those components. Home, about, yep, and contact. Cool. So hit this guy, import it. Hit this guy, import it. What?
I think you also need a star.
Why it's not importing it? About JSX, contact JSX. Now why it's not importing it? Oh, here we go. I don't know what happened there. I think it's taking some time. Is it confusing about the other guy? Interesting. Not importing automatically. Confused now. Okay, so the routes will contain multiple routes inside it. Okay, so how do we click individual item and make sure that individual we are navigating to that component? Now these allies, these yep, for these allies we have to use a link from React Router DOM. Okay, it's going to be a link like this, and we put the home inside it. Now this link, right? This link will have the thing called to. All right, to. So the to is the path that needs to match with the path. If we are putting to the home directory, then if I hit this home, it will take me to the path, this matching path, and it will display this home component. All right, same thing for about. And contact. Link is not defined. I will definitely remove. Okay, so let me put link over here. React Router DOM. Yes, link is coming from React Router DOM. Okay, so home is gonna take me to home. About.
You didn't put the path for the link.
You
To,
need to-
about, to.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
you need to also write there.
Sorry about that, guys. Copy pasting most of the time is not a good idea. All right, so about page, yes, and contact page, home, about, contact.
I think you need also star.
That's the good one. Yes. So for the star, right? For the contact, we can definitely put slash star, and it can take to no match. All right. Let me just create this no match component over here. Right. I create this no match component. If I try to get the no match, yeah. Basically 404. No match. Yeah, here we go. Save it. Now it's not, of course, it's not going to display because we don't have link for the no match. But about, home, contact. But if I try to type something like doesn't exist in my route, okay, enter, it will display no match, page 404.
So the star is just for the error.
Star,
mean-
yep, star is anything else. Anything else
Yeah.
other than these guys. If it doesn't match, it
Hmm.
will just hit this guy right here.
Okay.
It is same as similar to CSS. When you give the star, it will apply for all, right?
Yes, exactly. It will apply for all, but underneath it, we can specify the custom CSS styling for each element that we need.
Azamat, if you
Yes.
are having that link, do you need that LI?
Oh no, LI does not need it, but oh, we should yeah. LI does. I thought I had the UL. I don't know why I forgot UL. Okay, you
But
can.
Azamat, the proper way is UL and Li, and then comes the link.
Yeah, right. I forgot, guys. I forgot.
We need
Yeah, so
definitely
these
the link.
guys are not requirement, guys. These guys are not requirement. I just forgot to use. Did I? So bring it back. Now just need to make sure that this one is equal. Right, this is what I meant. I forgot this UL. About, contact, home. Now the styling is pretty much up to you guys, right? You can definitely create something like this. Okay, this is the styling, and
Wow.
based on the routes we have is about. It's taking us to the about page. Contact, we have a contact page. All right. Canceling out will bring it back to our home page, and we have products, right? And the products is individual component. If I click view details to see the contents of this product individual, now you guys will see /ID for that product, right? /ID. Now, since we have React Router DOM installed in our application, this back and forward button, guys, this for back and forward button will take you to the last page that you visited. Okay, you don't have to have a button that will take back to the last page visited, but the browser's back and forward will definitely help us to navigate through our application. And these buttons definitely work right here. Right, this is also part of the navigation. But of course, these guys belong to the browser, but it will definitely work with React Router DOM. Right, the card, we also have some items in the card. Remove it. Okay, your card is empty. Products, add to cart, and we add it to. Whew, interesting. There's a lot of bugs related to this application. But anyway, let's go back to our. We're done with this script. I don't know why. Okay, so this is the first way. This is the first way to route our applications. Now we'll go deep, but one of the other way is, let me go back here and do this one and do one, right? That's the first way. The second way is, now we can we should have routes as always. Okay. Inside my routes, I will have multiple routes, individual routes, or I can have a route inside another route. Right, so all of these guys are routes. Yes, I can have another route, and inside my route, I can have multiple other individual routes, self-closing routes. Okay, self-closing routes. So in my parent route right here, in my parent route, okay, in my parent route, I can have the path specified as slash. Okay, it will specify the top parent path, and whatever comes inside will be based on this path. For instance, if I put API, let's just try API, whatever is coming below will be based on this API. Okay, API slash version 1 in this case. Let's try this one out. All right, but of course, I will have a path. At the same time, I will have element to the top component. Element to the top component. Now, this top component, the convention is to call it a layout. Okay, the convention is to call this component a layout. So we have to create a component called layout. Right, it was created. So now I can just that's very interesting. Like, I don't know what's going on with these guys. Yeah, it's complaining about this guy right here. So I don't want this home. As I said, whatever it's coming underneath will be part of this layout. Right. So inside my route, I can have one route that automatically falls into this a path. Okay, I don't have to type the path over here for my first home directory or whatever you would like to call it right here. We'll try to create additional components for this one. But again, instead of typing path, I can type index. Right? This index, this route that has index will be the default component that comes to the layout that will be rendered on the layout. React. Let me see the proper explanation for that index. Okay. No, not this one. Library routing. Routes are configured by rendering routes and route that couple URL segments to UI elements. Yep, routes, and inside route you can have multiple route. It's fine. And we have route index element home. Nested routes. Now, right over here, the path of the parent is automatically included in the child. So this config creates both dashboard and dashboard settings URLs. Child routes are rendered. I'm looking for index. Oh, right here, index routes. Index routes render into their parent's outlet at their parent's URL like a default child route. Right? So if since I put index right here, when I render this route API v1, this is going to be my default child route or child component that will render in the UI. At least one of them should have index, right? Only one there will be only one of them. You cannot put like home 1 and home 2 and 2 indexes. No, there will be only one component or one route with the index that can, this layout will be the parent URL will render into that component over here. Okay, so No more index. And in terms of nested routes, no, layout routes right here. This is what we put. Okay, so route element is going to be, the path is going to be API v1, and the element is layout. Now, inside our marketing layout over here, this guy has route index element and marketing home. All right, I can call this guy layout home, create this layout home component. Is it? Do I have to open it first? Wow. Guess I have to open it. Like, it's without opening it, it's just not importing it. All right, layout home. Another route. In this case, it's gonna be the pad. We have to use the pad. All right, the pad. Let's just say news. Now this news falls under API / v1 / news. It has to fall under v1. Okay, so news. Let's just call one more products. At the same time, we're going to call our dynamic routing, right? This is going to be dynamic, and product details. These products will list out all the products that we have. This guy's right here, and product detail will list out individual product based on this URL. You see that we have to create a lot of components now. News. Products. Yeah, products component has been created successfully. And product details. Somehow it's not rendering. I think I have to just go inside each of these components like this, just to peek, right? Just to peek. And then if I come down here and try to import them again, crazy. My goodness, come on. Don't save it yet. Products, forum, components, products. Oh, I'm not using products over here. Cool. Now, of course, this routing is for these guys right here. All right, these guys right here. But as soon as I put /API /v1, okay, it will open up this layout page. All right. Anything else like news? It's not gonna display yet, right? Because it will still display layout page, because that's the parent. What we need to do here is we have to use something called outlet. Child routes are rendered through the outlet in a parent route. Okay, child routes. Now this one is the parent route, like a layout dashboard, and whatever comes below it, right, dashboard or dashboard / settings, it will be displayed inside the outlet. The outlet is actually coming from React Router DOM itself. let me go to layout over here. And now right over here, okay, right over here, we have to type outlet. We have to type outlet. Child routes are rendered through the outlet in the parent route. Okay, so as soon as I type this guy right here, you see right here, layout home. It is displaying the layout home right here, the layout home. We don't have layout page anymore. I mean, we do have layout component, but inside we just put only outlet. Now, because of the fact that we put all of these routes inside a single route that starts with API v1, right? And initially, and as soon as we load it, the root, the home page for this API v1 will be the component or route with the index attribute. And anything else that comes with news, for instance, will display news page, products.
Azamat, what if you will have two indexes? Is it possible? Like the two childs has the index, for example, the layout home and the news also index instead of past news. Like two indexes. So then both of them gonna be showed in the, or how it's gonna work?
The requirement is that you need to have only one index.
It's
Right?
gonna be error.
Yeah, but we can test it out definitely, right? Layout home page. It is still displaying layout home page. But if I move this guy up, news, right? News page. Okay.
But you didn't put
first
outlet
route,
for the news.
yeah,
Oh no. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, the first route that has index attribute will be displayed. Now this layout only contains outlet, right? Outlet. That's coming from React Router dump. And React Router, it says, child routes are rendered through the outlet in the parent route. The parent route, this guy right here, layout, has outlet, and whatever is coming below this route will be rendered through this outlet. It's basically we're just shoveling all of these children into this outlet. All right. Whatever comes underneath this route, all of these guys will be rendered inside the outlet. But of course, we put the layout over here. That's why we are wrapping all of these individual routes with this parent route, okay? And whatever comes after this path, like news, products.id, will be wrapped with this layout, and layout has outlet, and it will be displayed inside the outlet. I mean, basically over here.
So it is the first route and the second route. Okay, first is okay, second is okay, home about contact, okay, no match, and then yeah, it should be like this, no?
No, there's no difference, guys. There's no difference whether you put over here, whether you put in the middle. It doesn't matter. Look, I can cut this out and put it right in the middle. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but still, so the route should work when you click something, like when pages change, right?
Oh yeah, we will do that. Yes, we'll definitely do that. The route should work when we click something. Now it's working fine though, right? If I click home, it's going to the slash, right? Slash right here. It's going to slash right here. And it says home page. If I click about, it says about page. If I click contact, and contact page. Now, I did not add another link to display what? API v1, right? This API v1 should go, okay, so API/v1. All right, if I click API v1, as you guys can see, API v1, and it is displaying this news. Now, news, of course, has to be over here. It should have a path called news. All right, now it's displaying layout homepage. Again, this nav bar is up to you guys. right? It's up to you guys. v1 slash products. Okay, products and news. API v1, take me to the news. Save it. Now, homepage, yep, about, yes, contact, yes, API v1 will go to what? /API /v1. API v1, yes, /API /v1. And it's displaying the layout homepage because layout homepage, this one right here has an index. And that's going to be the default component that this layout needs to be rendered when we hit this path. Okay, so API v1 products, yes, API v1 products. API v1 news, yes, API v1 news. Now this path right here, right? This path right here, you just copy and paste it right over here. Copy and paste it right over here. And that's going to be only just the contacts. Oh, sorry, products. Products. Now, this the API v1 products will take us to API v1 products, and these products will take us to, okay, products page. The same products component, but it's under /products. This one is the same products component, but it's taking under /API /v1 products.
So it's kind of like first you are referring to home about, and when you are inside the about, you are also referring inside the about to another page. That's
Home.
why you have the layout and
Oh, this guy right here. Yes. Yep. So this API v1 will be the top route, and inside it, I'm creating additional routes that has to start with this path. Whatever comes underneath this route, the parent route, everything else will be start with this API v1.
okay.
Okay, API v1.
But you cannot write like API 1 v1, you know, I mean.
API 1, well, API, I mean, this is like from the Node.js application, right? We said like API and then version 1 or version 2, version 3, whatever you would like to write. Okay, this is how we create our routes, and this is how we create our routing in our application. Now, one thing we didn't see is this guy right here. Right, this guy right here. 6:39. How about we take 10 minutes break, guys?
Okay.
Let's just take 10 minutes break and we'll continue. Cool. So, we've seen all of these routes, but specifically we didn't have a chance to see. Okay, this one is should just okay. This path right here. Okay, it says /ID. Now, if I put products /anything right here, it will display product details page. Okay, because of the fact that we have products and we do have ID. You can put any letter or name, it will still print out a products detail page. Okay, but we want this type of routing for dynamic routing. When we try to display individual items, right? This is products, but individual items, if I would like to display, then it's going to be dynamically edit. Now, in this setup right here, if I put something like new, it says product not found because it's searching by the ID that we provide at the end. Okay, it is searching by the ID we provide at the end. View details, and that's the ID. And inside this product details component, we are grabbing this ID and doing some searching inside products array of objects and displaying the specific product that we found from products array. We'll try to do the same thing. Okay. Now, of course, let me get my data. This data will be inside my assets, and I will just call it products.js file. Okay, export constant all products. It is definitely coming from this right here. I just copied and pasted. Okay, I just copied and pasted right over here. We'll try first internal products.js. Okay, just hard coded all of the products, and we'll try to display it in the UI. Of course, these products, we have to come down here inside our products and display all of these products. All right. Cool. Products. All products. All right. All products that map individual product from all products, and we would like to return, right? Of course, we need to return a product card. All right. We would like to return a product card. Let me add that component first. Product details, product card. Cool. I added that component. Now, since I'm inside my products, I can use import product card from product card. Now I can use this product card just like this. All right, I will be passing my product down to my individual key. It's going to be product.id, and I'll just pass my product as product. So if I take a look into my products, all of these are coming from product. All of these are coming from product. So product card, I am grabbing my all right, we're going to destructure it first. All right, we're going to destructure it first. Not sure if I have bootstrap for this guy. Do I have bootstrap? I do not have bootstrap. Okay, that's fine. I can just go without the bootstrap. Well, let's just create a very simple IMG. We'll use the image for that guy. We'll try to display the name of the product, right, inside the paragraph. We'll try to display div and a couple buttons. Instead of button, instead of button, we'll just display the link. It's going to be view details. Now, inside my products, what did I do with my products? I should have not closed it. What is data? Oh, this is from, yeah, better. So inside my products, I do have image and URL is going to be, so product, fields, image, and first item and URL. Okay, product card will contain, I already have fields from here. And src is going to be fields that image, is it img? Oh, it's image, the first item, sorry, the first item and URL. Link is not defined. Damn it. Cool. It's huge image. It is displaying every single one of them. Let's just change the width with 100. For now, let's just display it as 100. Cool. So the name of the product is going to be right here. So fields, that name, right? Product card. Fields, that name. High backbench. Styling, let's just add a border. 1 pixel, solid gray. And a padding of 10 pixels. No, don't do that. Of course, it's an object. We have to put like this. Maybe margin. Cool. Yeah, that should be it. So for the link over here, as we said, all of our links, what do they had? Where's my app.js? All of our links had 2. Okay, the 2. So this one also contains ID, right? Because every single individual product, we have ID and fields. Now, it will come, since we are from products, we are sending as like this. That's why we will have, the structuring will have fields and ID. Right? And then now right here, for the 2 portion right here, we would like to send as a dynamically. Okay? Usually we do something like this. Products / and we have to send it as an ID. Right? This ID will be dynamic. So for that reason, I have to take this one out like this and put it curly braces first. Right? And then backtick, of course. I'm using backtick because I'm including this manual string. Okay, so products / $, ID. Right, the ID is coming from here. Cool. So now, right? So now I can click view details, and it says products. This one right here.
Do you need to make the path also the dynamic, the path from your JSX?
Oh yeah, actually, yes, you're right. So the link we were sending is like this. You're right. Okay. Right now it says /products, right? It is taking this guy right here, /products. All right, and we don't have dynamic path for this one right here. This one has a dynamic, but this one does not have a dynamic. When we are applying link, we have to put the full path over here, starting from slash. So for that reason, we have to come down here. I need to put API v1 slash products and then ID. Save it. Okay. So home, about, contact, products. Products is displaying same thing. And API v1 products is also displaying the same thing, but we have URL change it. Now from here, right, if I click view details, API v1 products, API v1 products, home, what is confusing right now is putting this guy right here. Maybe not, no. Let me remove this guy. Products, view details.
I mean, Azamat, if you go to your app J6, where is the path with the ID?
In FJSX, where's the path with an ID? Inside my API v1.
Yeah, but product details, right?
Yeah, product
How
details.
is gonna match with that? Like you hard coded like ID there. How is supposed to be matched there?
This column is making it dynamic.
Okay.
After we put the column, if I don't put the column, right? This
Yeah.
is we have to type ID now. Okay, we
Okay.
have to type ID now. So products. So it's going to be API view products, and now I have to type ID at the end like this. Product details. But in order to make it dynamic, I mean, if I do this one right here now, anything, okay, it says no match.
Right.
But if I put it hard coded, I have to type like ID manually. It will display product details. But if I put it to column, now I can put anything instead of ID right here. Any
Good.
number, any letter, product, it will display product details.
Good.
This column is making it dynamic. Now, this dynamic portion can have multiple things like new slash another dynamic add ID or some sort of ID, okay, or session ID. You can have multiple dynamic paths, and you can definitely reach out to those. Now, let's just deal with only one of them and see the result. So now this one is dynamic, and inside our product card, we are sending out to the dynamic routing.
Good.
Right? So let me just comment out this one for now. So contact API v1 products, view details.
No.
Okay, API v1 products, view details. Why is it? Oh, because of the fact that I changed it again. Sorry. API v1. Sorry about that. So contact API v1. Yep, layout home, products, API v1. It's still taking me API v1. Why is it that? About page. Link to API v1.
Maybe in product in the road also put the V1 or we don't need because it's already inside the row.
So the path is this one, and it should start with API v1. We do have product details. If I come down here and remove one of them, products API v1, right? It will display product details because we are hitting with this ID. But somehow it is also doing this one. Let me try to do /API. All right, product details. Here we go. The problem was this slash right here. If I don't, basically it needs to find this API v1, right? Because it's starting with API v1. Now, if I don't put this slash over here, right? And I should remove that slash from here too. Contact, API v1, API v1 products, and API v1 products. Why is it not so weird? AV1 products and product ID. I don't know why is that slash is making a difference. What happens if I don't have it over here and I do have it over here? It's the same thing. I don't have a slash API over here, but I do have slash over here. I'm assuming that this slash is basically taking reference of starting from this after the port. Now, whatever we put as a link, we don't have all of these guys, but we do have slash.
Azamat,
Yes.
don't we need to put in all like news products ID like in the like slash for all of them? Because I understand they're inside the API v1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And since we don't have after the v1 also the slash, is like somehow do it by itself, or we have to put all.
It is doing it by itself. It doesn't matter whether you put it over here or not. It is doing it by itself. Absolute route path news nested under path that is not valid. An absolute child route must start with a combined path of all its parent routes.
Because we have to put in a link also. So since we put the slash, I guess.
You're talking about
The links.
oh for the nested, guys. It says for the nested. Since we are nesting it, right? We have routes, individual routes inside another route. Inside the nested, we should not put these slashes. That's what it says over here. In promise error, absolute route path slash news nested under path API v1 is not valid. An absolute child route path must start with the combined path of all its parent routes.
So since the API v1 is not nested, it's supposed to be slash, right?
Yeah, API v1. It can also be without. It should be without the slash, because it's not nested. It's not nested inside the route. It is inside the routes, but it's not inside the route. Okay, this individual route is inside the parent route, but all of them are inside routes. See, so API v1, it's still showing the layout. These guys are still showing it. But if we have nested routes, then if I put slash, it will start complaining now. See, API v1 is not valid. An absolute child path must start with the combined path. Product details.
So the issue was like the line 45, like you put the slash.
Line 45, yes. The putting slash, it's not working because they are nested.
Okay.
Slash products nested under path API v1 is not valid. All right, so now it's displaying product details. I mean, product details, we don't have anything yet. Okay, since we are inside the product details, right? Product details, products and product details. We are displaying this component right now because we are actively in that URL, right? We are actively in that URL. So how can we reach out to this ID, the dynamic value, okay, inside our product details? Now, we do have some hooks that come with the React Router DOM. It's not from React itself. It's not from React DOM. It is coming from React Router DOM. To reach out to that ID, we have to call something called use params. Right? It is coming from React Router DOM. Now it is a function. It will return, okay? It will return the contents of the params. Now if I say constant params, console.log params, save it. Refresh the page. As you guys can see right here, we have params. Okay, params. So as a params, if I type like a new and another score underscore ID, okay, let's just type ID 2. Okay, new ID 2. Save it. Now, if I somehow product cart over here, view details. If I somehow type it slash, okay, slash, all right, new, of course, it has to be new because we do have new hard-coded. And now for ID2, oops, for ID2, I would like to type ID2 slash ID. Okay, ID2 dash ID. Save it. So now if I go back to my products and click view details, as you guys can see right here, I have 2 params. Right, this URL contains 2 params right here. This URL contains, this is the first ID that comes to this ID that is matching with this ID right here. And I do have hard-coded new in the middle. And this second ID is starting with ID2 because I specifically put it ID2 right here. And then adding it ID. But when it comes to the product details, use params is grabbing both of these guys, ID and ID2 inside my params. Now the params is an object. And inside my params, I do have ID and ID2. Every single thing that you put as a params, okay, like a column, they will come as params. Okay, they will come as params. So now, since inside my params, I have what? ID. Okay, since I do have ID, I can find my product. I can find my product. Product is going to be all products that find. Okay, and P, we have to find the P.id is matching with what? ID that comes from params. And now right over here, we can type product sometimes might be null, or sometimes if it doesn't find what's going to return.
Whole object.
If it finds, it will return the full object, yes. But if it doesn't find, if it doesn't find, what's going to return? Name is equal to object, right? A. Oh, sorry, it has to be array. Okay, so A that find individual P and P that in name is equal to Alex in this case. Close it out. It will return the whole object itself. But what if you put the Alex 2? It will return undefined. Okay, so if the product is undefined, then what we need to return? Product not found. Let's just return H2. Product not found. If there is a product, then we'll just skip this if else part, and it will just display the details about the product. All right, details about the product H1. In this case, let's just try to display the product, that the fields, that name, okay, high backbench individual. We can also display the image. SRC is going to be, of course, product, that fields, that image, the first item with the URL. Let's just put the width as 200. Okay. P details about the product. It's going to look very similar to this guy right here. You can definitely put the price, but that's fine. But again, it's displaying the high backbench, right? If I go back to my products and if I display Emperor Bet, view details, Emperor Bet with the different, the image. API news is displaying, taking us to news. API V1 products. Let's say display accent chair, and that accent chair that belongs to the product. Again, it is use params is the custom. I mean, it's a hook provided by React Router DOM, and we will have access to those dynamic parameters provided with the path for our route. Of course, our params need to start with a colon, right? Our params need to start with colon. Sometimes, right? Sometimes let me try to see right over here. As you guys can see right here, let the category ID, product ID. This one is the route. The path is C, category ID, /P, product ID. 2 items. And then with the help of use params, we are able to reach out to those categories. Okay, so let me try to use use search params. Route params are the parsed values from a dynamic segment. The dynamic segments start with the colon, right? In this case, colon city is the dynamic segment. The parsed value for that city will be available from use params. Let city use params, and we have access to the city right here. Use fake data library, let data, blah, blah, blah. URL search params. Search params are the values after a question mark. The values after question mark. We will have access to those search params like this. What it's trying to say, right? I'm trying to see the path for that one. Something like this. So for the products over here, let's just name it something else, not products. Search params. It's search param slash, I think, question mark, and whatever is coming after that. So the Q is going to be, the question is going to be what? Hello? The topic is going to be world. Question and the topic. Search params. Search params. I have to put search params, question hello, and topic is world. I just don't want to display products. Search params component. Search params component. It's created. Of course, it cannot automatically import it. Now I have to import it. So inside my search params component, as we said, we have use search params, and it returns constant s params. If I try to constant.log it, okay, constant.log are search params. Now I cleared my thing, and API v1 search params, no match. API v1 search params, question hello, and the topic is world. Isn't that how we search? No match. Why it says no match? So API v1 search params, question. Yeah, we did not put as a dynamic. What needs to be dynamic over here? Search query question. Give me 1 second, guys. I think I'm missing something over here. So search params that get queue, search params. Well, I think this one is returning some sort of an object or map, and it's using get, like a local storage that get items, something like that. Interesting. But how do we use? Yeah, you know what? Forget about this search params. Okay, so we'll just research about it later. What you guys need to care about the project that we are going to do is use params, and we are passing our IDs or whatever the parameters that we are passing in with the dynamic segment. We can reach out to them the help of use params. Cool. Any questions? So far, so good. Any
The thing is, it's okay, but when it comes to this ID and okay, so okay, you have product. When you click the product, we have product, and then you have a product details. So when you click the product details, this
yeah,
referring
product. We're clicking that link. Yeah, the link has providing us maybe one products, and we're providing the ID, a new and second ID. Right, that's the link I'm clicking right here.
Okay.
As soon as I click it, it's going to take me to this path in the URL right here. Right, view details, and it will take in the URL, and that is routing to the path over here. But whatever the ID we're providing right over here, right, it is passing as a dynamically right over here with the help of colon ID and colon ID2, right? Colon ID, the first ID, and colon ID2 is the second ID. We are dynamically passing, and when we are dynamically passing, right, we are basically rendering this component. Now, this component, we can go inside to that component and reach out to those dynamic IDs, right? ID over here and ID2. Of course, I'm not using this ID2, but based on this ID that we dynamically pass, I'm searching for that product and finding it and displaying the div. If I don't find it, then it will say product not found. Okay. So if I type something additional like at the end, since it's not gonna find it, it will say product not found. Okay, so oh, not sorry, not for this ID. It has to be the second ID. So the first ID. Sorry, I apologize. It has to be this first ID. I'm not sure why I made it. Okay, so if I paste it over here, I'm trying to change this guy ID. If this one is different, right, then in that case, it will say product not found, because based on the first ID that we are passing, we are finding the product. Okay, view details. Now in here, I changed it the last one over here, like this, and it's still displaying the same product because I changed this one, I did not change this one.
Azamat, can you please explain about one more time about the use param is getting the ID from the dynamic link, or where is getting
From the dynamic link, yes, right here.
Okay.
Right. So this products, click this one. Now this, as soon as I click it, it is routing me, right? It is routing me to this path, right? API v1 products, and if this is the first ID, new, and this is the second ID. and it is routing me, and it is opening this product details. Now, since I'm rendering this product details component, whatever I'm passing into the path as a dynamic segment, like a params, will be available inside the product details with the help of use params. Because I'm rendering that component when I'm going into this URL path. If I render some other component, then I wouldn't have any use params over here. Okay, so product cart. I can do the same thing over here. Let's just call this params. Constant.log params. I have to import these params. Okay. Cool. So contact, where do I need to go? Product cart. So basically products. As you guys can see, all of these are coming from product cart. But since I'm not passing anything dynamic, right? I'm not passing anything dynamic into this products. Okay. I don't have anything dynamic. That's why my params is just empty object. It is just empty object. But for this product details, right? Product details, I'm passing this ID and ID2 as a dynamically. That's why I do have access to, if I go down, I think I'm not console logging it, but if I had to console log it, I have access to this params, and this params contains an object that has ID and ID2. Okay, let's see what else do we have over here. So one other thing that comes with React Router DOM is use navigate. Okay, so constant navigate, use navigate. Use navigate will provide us a navigate function, and using this navigate function, we can navigate to the specific route that we want to go back. All right, so in here, I want to just say the link. Okay, I want to just put the link. Let me just put the div first, and inside my div, I want to put the link. Okay, and it will say just go back. Oops, go back. Now, as we said, 2. Actually, we should not have a link over here. We don't want to have a link. How use navigate works is that we're gonna have a button, and let's just call it go back. And with this on click, we can use our navigate function. All right. With this navigate, we have to provide the path. We have to provide the path. For instance, slash API slash v1 slash products. Save it. Now go back. See, it is just taking me back. Let me just clean this prompts anymore. Okay, so product details, I added a button. Each product detail will have a button. Okay, now I'm clicking go back. As soon as I click it on click, I'm running this anonymous function, of course. Now this navigate will take me to this the path that I put. If I put slash just the home page, it will take me to the home page. Okay, it will take me to the home page. But since we would like to go back to the API v1 products, right? API v1, if this is the products, view details, yes, go back, yeah. Now, these guys are exact same thing as I said, right? This is basically navigating. This is basically navigating.
Where you get this navigate from?
Navigate is coming from use navigate, use params. All of them are coming from router dump. Okay, it is kind of like redirecting it. Go back, going back to the products, display this guy, go back, display this guy, and go back. It's the same thing.
But we can also use just a link also, right? And put the path
The
instead.
link,
Yeah, inside of that button, just put the link like from the and put the path like to that slash like yeah.
it's not, yeah, it's not.
Nice link. We don't have a link.
Right? It will definitely do the same thing. Navigating and putting a link will be exact same thing. View details, go back, will take you back. View details, go back, will take you back. The tiny difference between the browser going back and navigate, right? Let me refresh the page. I'm right over here. I'm clicking, go back. I'm clicking and I'm going back. There's no difference. But if I scroll down, if I click view details and go back, it's taking me to the top of the view. Right? As you guys, I'm scrolling all the way down, click view details and go back, it's taking me to the top. But if I view details, the last one, and go back, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, it's scrolling back to where I clicked initially. View details, go back. View details, go back, taken to the front. Now these nested routes are useful when you have related routes to each other. Another example would be put a route here, okay, and put a path as user, right? And you might have an element called user. It is going to be just like the layout over here. Now inside my individual user, And the first one will be with the index. Okay, we can call the profile, the user profile, when we load it up. Now this user will contain an outlet, just like we had in the layout, right? In the layout we had outlet. Now this user needs to have an outlet, and as soon as we hit this path user, our default route will be placed in, and we need to display the profile. All right, and this guy might have a path, which is called account, and account. Another thing is that since we said that as soon as we hit the user, it will take us to the profile. Now, can display the same profile component with the path profile. Whether you hit this user slash or whether you hit this user slash profile, you can display the profile, or you can as soon as you load up this user component, it will display this profile. It's up to you guys how to manipulate these routes when you try to display some components.
The line 42, which I still like, AP, so it, okay, yeah, I understand that it's refer us to API, you know, in the browser.
Huh?
The API, this one, the line 42.
Uh-huh.
And okay, the layout is the outside, and outside is kind of like, it has an outlet outline, right?
Yeah, the layout has an outlet, yes.
Outlet, okay.
From router down,
Uh,
yes.
So, but this, can you go back to
FG6 says.
42? Is the API v1 is kind of like, okay, it is referring us to another, but it still comes from the router cell, right?
Yeah, so we do have the parent layout.
Yeah.
Right? This one is the layout. And all of these guys are child,
Yeah.
right? Because they're nested to each other. As soon as I loaded up this API v1, this is going to be the path that has index, layout home.
Yeah.
Right? Layout home. As I change my URL, whichever I'm hitting starting from API v1, this layout will display based on this one, right? Initially, I'm hitting API v1 slash, that's why I'm hitting this layout home. But as I change my URL, this outlet will decide which path, I mean, this route is definitely taking us to the specific route. But all of the routes will start API v1.
Yeah.
This outlet right here, initially it's designed to go to the layout home, but based on the URL changes, it will display a specific component. Now, if the URL changes to API v1/news, it will not display this layout home anymore. It will just display news.
Okay. And let's say it changed to a news, and it's inside the news, for example, we have another one, let's say news detail, for example, and then we should give the ID. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's definitely the same thing. So add, you say that slash news ID in this case.
Yeah.
Right? And then news details. You can create another component, but again, I need to hit, right? I need to hit, of course, news slash, I need to provide some sort of ID. Okay, it's not matching anything because I don't have that component yet.
But Azamat, you said that when we write the API v1, and then it start to change from the news to product, and but We are not gonna do it change with our manual. You know, I mean, if this is the real website, it
Yeah,
has.
this is the only thing. Yeah, this is the only thing. This is gonna be the only file that you need to change for the whole router.
Okay. Now I understand.
Yeah, there's only one file, right? All of the routes are specified in this file. There's nothing else. And you can just come and change this path. That's it.
So since you write in the link up in the up, like, can you scroll it? Yeah, since you wrote here, so the JavaScript will understand that. I mean, the React will understand that we are clicking that path.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So the thing about this, yeah, it's displaying this news details because /news. Okay. These, whatever I'm writing this nav, doesn't have to be over here. Okay. You guys probably realize that it doesn't have to be over there. We can put it right over here. Okay. And then of course, all of these links needs to be come over here. And now I can just put my nav bar. Oh, nope, not React strap. I don't want that from React strap. From products. Okay, nav bar. I can put this one like this. It'll do the same thing. Nav bar contains all of the links that are specified. Okay. Now, because of the fact that we are putting above the routes, that's why in each routing we still see these links. We still see those links. Okay. If it was somehow inside the route, it will be gone, because whatever we have inside the routes, it will be display only one path, right? It will display only this one for the specific route. Okay, that's why we are keeping this nav bar outside this routes, right? And then whatever comes inside this route is kind of like a switch, guys, right? This route is kind of like a switch. You're putting just a switch, okay, switch statement, and based on the route, this key is based on the route /API, right? Or /home or /news. If it is a news, then we're saying display this news component. Okay, display this news component. If it is something else, then display all of these routes. Okay, we're not displaying all of them at the same time. For a specific path, we are displaying each one of them. Each one of them. If this one is a home, we're displaying only the home. If it is about, we're displaying only the about page. But of course, we have to put all of them in one place under routes provided by React Router DOM.
Can you go to this navbar and
Yeah, navbar, it just has a link. I just cut it and paste it over here. That's it. It's just put it into its own component. There's nothing else. There's nothing.
that's okay, but the line 18, like, okay, you refer to API v1, but I
how is it? Yeah, how is it detecting
Right,
it? How is it
but,
detecting it? This is guy right here, the router. We are wrapping the whole application with the router, and this link right here, it shoots, right? It shoots up in the link, right? It shoots up to the router, and router will catch it, right? If I click this link about, my router is catching it, and it's the router is catching it, and it's referring to this routes. Do I have a matching routes? Yes, about. Okay, then display the about right here. display the about page. If I click the contact, okay, the router that we are wrapping is catching it, and that's why it's displaying this contact page.
But what about line 23? Okay, path 2023 path API v1, it comes from the router, but
What I did just now is I removed this router, right? I removed this router. And of course, if you remove the router, you will not be able to use routes. The route has to be wrapped with the router. I apologize, Aziza. Can you repeat the question, please?
the Azamat, like you 20 line 23, like
Yes.
you are clicking the something and then it is referring, but in the real website you need to click the something, let's say home, and it will, let's say product, and after the product you can have like another page like product details, for example. So
Router as router. Yes, same process, guys. Same process. There's nothing changes. Okay. So in the real world scenario, same thing. If I come to Shop Easy, right, and this is actual link taking me through slash home, right? Slash home. Go back. Shop Easy. Now this thing is the same thing. It's taking me to. I'm clicking. It's taking me to home. This one is about contact, products, and we're displaying the product details, right? Product details, and the card. The same thing. Slash card. There's the route card. Show me products. This show me products is navigating it, right? You guys remember from navigate? Where did we use product card or product details right here, right? Navigate. Same thing. I click this button. It's navigating me to slash products route.
if I click the, for example, um,
Click which one do you want to click?
go back to this code, and if I, let's say if I, no, can you go back to code?
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah.
Let's say if I click now product and product details, for example, okay, I understand that part. Like, can you go to the code? Yes, yeah, okay, here because this is the API v1 is actually navigating us to right here.
Yes. So I nested these routes, right? If I would like to put these routes individually outside, right? Outside, then I have to type right here slash API slash v1 slash news. I have to type it like this.
Yeah.
I have to type it like that. Now it's still displaying the news page. But what React Router is saying that you don't have to type this first part. You can put this route inside this the parent route like this. It says and then you can remove this API v1, the first portions.
Okay.
All right, API v1 news page is displaying the same thing, but in this case, it's going to be API v1 news.
But
Because,
then
yeah, go ahead.
then you need to write this API v1 also news inside the navbar. Can you go to navbar?
Yeah, for the navbar, yes, we have to type the full the relative path.
Okay, but here you don't have. Okay, now I understand.
Yeah, we have to type the relative path because this about is looking for starting from slash about or it is match. It has to match with the path.
Yeah.
This two is matching with the path. If whatever the matching the path,
Yeah.
this link will take you to that component.
You're right, because inside the line 23, for example, and up to 29, we don't have the, for example, home, but we have product details, and then we have a news. Okay, now I understand. Okay.
Yep. Now you can display the same, right? You can display the same component, but in under different URL. Now you said that we don't have home for this one, right? But we do have index layout, the layout home.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I go to API v1, it's going to take me to layout home page. Right. So this one is the home. What I can do here is bring this home down here and type it as home.
Mhm.
Right. So now API version 1/home is going to take me to home page. But if I click this home, it's going to take more slash, right? Just the slash, sorry, just the slash, that's the home page. We can use the same component under different URL and the URL path, right? The relative path. There shouldn't be any problem. That's how we just navigate to our specific component based on the path that we choose. You can either choose with the links or you can use navigate.
Actually this API and V1 is just paging the children inside the page again. Okay.
Yes. Yep. This is the parent route and displaying the child route based off of this parent route.
Mhm.
Now, do I have just a slash news slash something else? Do I have it? It's gonna say no match because, oops, come on. I don't have a match. I have to go to the news through API v1. Okay, so before v1, before news, I have to type API slash v1 slash news. Now it's going to display new details, news details page because I'm coming right over here, news details. If I just type it without this ID at the end, it'll just display news page. But of course, it's going with API v1.
Mhm.
759. My goodness. So we didn't have a chance to do this project, not this one, but the project that we were actually mentioning, right? This is also e-commerce. There's nothing.
But I have questions, Azamat, because
Yeah.
this one, okay, maybe I have one question, Sati. From the next week on Tuesday, we are gonna start the a project like the internship.
Starting tomorrow.
Yes, and the data, like for example, it's very difficult. Like I want, like let's say if you want to do some like project, you need the data, you know. And if you don't,
there will be data, yeah.
yeah, if you don't use like an, you know, of course there are some free datas, but it looks like an amateur. I mean, you know, maybe 5 years ago the market was a different, for example, you know, and maybe for you guys was like, okay, no problem, you know. Maybe it's just 4 or 5 years ago, but now, you know, if you see the data, like, you know, not like this fake, but like fetching and using in the use effect, you know, and use the dependencies, you know. So then you need the data, and it's kind of very difficult to find the data. Like,
No, I mean, with the knowledge
I've been
you
looking for
guys have
3 days.
right now,
So
shouldn't
my
be a
question
problem.
is that we are gonna provide it the data, and maybe you guys have the, I mean, or we are gonna just find ourselves. Then
Vehicles.
most of them ask the key, and if you even like, okay, you can get a key, but you have you guys heard about Postman, for example?
Yeah, Postman, yes.
Yeah,
That's
like testing for me, for example, it was like hell, you know. Since I don't have like experience, and I just gave up, you know. Many datas that you can, for example, have the key,
Mhm.
Like we had like an DMDV movie project,
Mhm.
but if you want to like find it, okay, not gonna do just one project and stop with that, you know. We need to have in our CVs that we have done some real projects. And then if you find, for example, different data, like datas that you really want, and you need to like try it and in the postman,
Uh-huh.
oh, I don't know who has the knowledge, but I tried many times.
Postman is really cool
It's
application.
really cool, yeah.
Yeah,
Postman would be great if you, I mean, maybe we're asking too much, but
no, it's okay, it's okay. I heard that the testers they they eat with Postman, they sleep with Postman. I think they do everything with the Postman.
yeah, it's really cool, Postman. Like I also have used one, but since like it has a, you know, the ChatGPT can navigate me how many times, you know, I mean, but but would be great to like find many websites. They say that okay, we provide you a link, we will provide you, but you need to test in the Postman, you know.
Mhm.
Need really knowledge. I mean, how I hope in the when we do internship, we will gonna get the data from you guys.
Yes, the data will be provided, and of course, it's going to be API endpoint. And from that API endpoint, you guys will fetch the data and try to display it. Of course, you have to modify a lot of parts on the data in order to complete the project. So, in order to
Okay,
display.
then then it's cool. So then we don't. I mean, I've been looking for 2 3 days just finding the data, but most of them like, oh, postman, 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 you know. And okay, what's the postman? And I went to the postman. You need an authorization stuff, and you need to test if by ID, by key, and it
Yeah,
would
but Postman does not provide the data. It will just fetch the
no,
data
yeah,
by the
but
data.
yes, it will not. But the data, so like some they provide, for example, data. They always say, oh, you need to go and check in Postman if data
Oh
work.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can check with the Postman. So under the client when you have exceeded limits. What? Really? Interesting.
If I had, for example, Azamat knowledge how to use the fetch the data, I would be done many projects already and like not have the pressure under the internship time, you know. Would be like
They changed a lot of stuff in under the client. I don't know. Yeah, so that's it for today, guys. I wish we had a lot of time to be able to start the project that we intended to do, but that's gonna be for Wednesday. In the meantime, I will create the starter code for e-commerce so that we will get ready on Wednesday, right? On Wednesday, we'll try to finish the e-commerce, implement a use context, maybe use reducer. Yeah, we might implement use reducer.
and also use context.
Yeah, use context, yes.
Which were okay. But Azamat, during the internship, you're gonna teach or you will be
I don't know. During the internship, Marat might be doing, so wait, did they update it just now? Oh, I see they updated just now for instructors. Not sure if they updated for you guys.
No, we
Oh,
don't have it.
not, not for you guys. For instructors, they made some changes. What? Next class is Redux? Oh, wow. We're going really fast the last moments. counter with Redux. To-dos with Redux should be very easy. And Marat, I guess, yeah, I think I might have like 2 weeks, 2 more weeks with you guys. Yep,
Uh,
2
this week and next week?
this week. Actually, 3 more weeks, including this week. Yes,
Okay, cool.
3 more weeks. So Redux, and I think this part is what? I mean, additional projects with Redux, I guess, and then that's it.
But they say that we are gonna have internship and we need the time to finish our the project. So it means that we are still gonna have everyday class or what?